Microsoft is marketing its Lumia 735 as the ultimate smartphone for taking selfies, but before the Windows Phone even went on sale, HTC one-upped it with the 13MP Desire I. Here we compare the specs to see which phone is the better deal, plus which is the best smartphone for selfies. C. Best Smartphones 2014. HTC Desire I vs Nokia Lumia 735, Price and Availability. Nokia's Lumia 735 is now on sale at £190, while the HTC Desire I is expected around the end of this month with a mid-range price tag of between £300 and £400. As what will likely be the more expensive phone, the Desire I really ought to have the better spec on paper. We'll update this review once we have UK pricing information. Also see, Best SIM-only deals. HTC Desire I vs Nokia Lumia 735, Build quality and design. As we note in our review, the Nokia Lumia 735 comes with a bright orange, bright green, white or grey glossy plastic polycarbonate case. Set against the jet black old panel, the orange plastic of our review sample looks great. Also see, Best Windows Phones 2014. This removable cover has QE wireless charging tech built into it, and snaps off to reveal a AeroSIM slot, microSD slot and removable battery. But despite the removable cover, the Lumia 735 feels sturdy, with no flexing or creaking under pressure. The Lumia 735 is perfectly sized for our female hands, with slim bezels allowing Nokia to cram its 4.7-inch screen into a chassis just 68.5mm wide, 8.9mm thick and 134.7mm long. It's not too heavy either, at 134 grams. With a volume rocker and on forward/off switch, the phone's only physical buttons, we initially found the on-screen trio of back, home and search buttons that you drag in from the bottom of the screen difficult to get used to. There's also a 3.5mm headphone jack on top, and on the Nokia Lumia 735's rear you'll find a mic, speaker, 6.7MP camera and a single LED flash. HTC, meanwhile, is known for the stunning build quality of its smartphones. The Desire I is not a flagship device, and as such does not feature the unibody metal design we saw in the HTC One M8. It's a very good-looking device, though, available with either a two-tone blue or white and red soft touch case. Also see, Best Android Phones 2014. Despite housing a larger 5.2-inch screen and front-facing boom sound speakers, sound quality from this phone is vastly superior, which isn't surprising given that the Nokia doesn't even come with a pair of headphones. The Desire I is only slightly larger and heavier than the Lumia 735, measuring 151.7 x 73.8 x 8.5mm. It's actually a little thinner, and weighing 154 grams. One thing we particularly like about the HTC Desire I over the Nokia Lumia 735 is its dedicated camera button. The Lumia's camera app takes up to 7 seconds to load running Lumia Cyan firmware. We're hoping this will improve under Lumia Denim, and a dedicated button could mean you're less likely to miss the moment. And while the Lumia has a rear-facing single LED flash, the HTC has a dual LED flash both front and back. As with the Lumia 735, there's a volume rocker and power switch on the phone's right side, and a trio of on-screen buttons for back, home and multitasking. On the left side are SIM and microSD trays since the HTC's rear cover is not removable. That's because, unlike the Nokia, the HTC is waterproof up to 1 meter. HTC Desire I vs Nokia Lumia 735, display. The Lumia 735's screen might divide opinion. It's an HD panel with a very good pixel density of 316 ppi. But you will notice some graininess when comparing it to the Desire I's Full HD panel, 423 ppi. We love the high contrast effect created by the clear black old panel and popping colors of Windows Phone, but others will find it oversaturated and glaring. With the most recent Windows Phone firmware update, it is possible to alter the display colors in the settings, of course. Viewing angles and sensitivity are excellent, and the ability to wake the screen with a double tap is useful. HTC's Desire I has the standout screen in this comparison. It's larger, it's higher in resolution, it's crisper and it's arguably more natural looking. If you will be watching videos and playing games, the HTC has the better screen. HTC Desire I vs Nokia Lumia 735, hardware and performance. It's difficult for us to accurately compare performance between these devices because one runs Android and the other Windows Phone, and our usual benchmarks aren't supported by the latter. Also see, what's the fastest smartphone 2014? On paper, though, the Desire I should be significantly faster. While the Lumia 735 has a 1.2 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon 400 quad-core processor and 1 GB of RAM, HTC's Desire I has a 2.3 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon 801 quad-core chip, which it pairs with 2 GB of RAM. There would have to be something seriously wrong with the HTC Desire I if it didn't floor the Lumia 735 with those specs. It's important to note, however, that once you get to a certain point performance-wise all phones will suit most users. Although the Nokia doesn't have the fastest hardware, in our tests we found little lag when switching between apps and home screens, and web browsing is fast. Gamers will prefer the HTC, mind. In terms of battery performance the two should be fairly on par. The HTC has a higher capacity 2400 mAh cell inside, but the Nokia's 2220 mAh battery will drain slower thanks to the lower resolution screen and less demanding hardware. Expect a day out of both. HTC Desire I vs Nokia Lumia 735, storage, connectivity and extras. Whereas the Nokia Lumia 735 comes with just half the amount of storage of the Desire I as standard, 8 versus 16 GB, both support microSD up to 128 GB. With the Nokia you also get 15 GB of free OneDrive storage space, while all manner of third-party cloud storage apps are available for the HTC. Connectivity-wise we're surprised to see the cheaper Lumia 735 get the slight upper hand with QE wireless charging built in. A standard USB rather than wireless charger comes in the box, however, and we suspect many owners won't pay extra to take advantage of this functionality. While both handsets feature 4G LTE, NFC and Bluetooth 4.0, the HTC lists aptech, and with Wi-Fi support stretching to 802.11n for both HTC and Nokia, only the Desire I operates on dual frequencies. HTC Desire I vs Nokia Lumia 735, selfie cameras. So far in this article we've compared a sub £200 phone to what could be a £400 phone. Obviously that's not fair. The reason we're comparing these very different smartphones is that both claim to be the ultimate phone for taking selfies, a craze that is showing no sign of abating. When Nokia announced its Lumia 735 we were impressed by the idea of a 5MP, f/2.4 front-facing camera. Then HTC announced its 13MP camera with a dual LED flash and the Nokia didn't seem so exciting anymore. But don't be so quick to judge, specifications alone aren't always enough to help you form a decision. For a start, do you really want a super high-resolution close-up of your face to post on social media? That spot you've been trying to cover up, we can see it. Scars, there they are. And aren't your freckles cute? With a 5MP camera the Nokia is able to capture enough detail to produce a decent photo, provided you don't move the camera away too soon or you'll end up with a blurred mess, but not so much that you're embarrassed to share it. The pre-installed Lumia Selfie app is also very good. The Lumia 735 will save a selfie, or graphy, thanks to that wide-angle lens, only when it meets your approval. You can change the aspect ratio to suit your desired sharing medium and rotate the image before doing so. You then swipe left and right to choose a filter, and long press to compare it to the original. If you have a favorite filter, Lumia Selfie will save time by automatically applying the last used effect to your next selfie. Next up are options to enhance the photo, and these work incredibly well. If you're the sort of person who never takes a good selfie, the Nokia Lumia 735 is the phone for you. Among the enhancements all applied via sliders is the ability to enlarge your eyes and make them stand out better, alter the toning, soften the image, make your face slimmer, add a smile and whiten your teeth. You can make the sort of changes most people would love to be able to do in Photoshop, but don't know where to begin. Once saved, you can share your selfie with Facebook or Twitter, OneNote, messaging or email. You can also use the phone's built-in NFC to beam it to another compatible device. On the other hand, HTC's selfie camera is clearly the winner in the technology stakes. There's a 13MP, f/2.2, 22mm lens with autofocus, BSI sensor, dual LED flash and an HDR mode. You won't find the latter on the Lumia 735. And to be fair, HTC has some pretty decent software, too, and not just for selfies. For example, During video chat, its automatic face tracking supports up to 4 people, ensuring you and your friends stay in view at all times. When you are taking selfies, the Desire Eye is able to capture the view from the front and rear cameras, thereby showing an event and your reaction to it. You can also play with Crop Me In, which cleverly crops you out of the selfie camera shot and stitches you into the scene captured by the rear camera. Perhaps our favorite of the HTC's software tricks is its ability to automatically take the shot when you say cheese. Balancing a 5.2-inch smartphone at the perfect angle while stretching your thumb across to the shutter button and smiling can be one task too many for even the best multitaskers. The Desire Eye, in common with the Lumia 735, can also make you look better, whether that's merging your face with that of a friend or celebrity, a little odd, or letting you alter the level of skin smoothing in live makeup. Which is the best smartphone for selfies, then? Although the HTC has by far the better technology, some of its software is a bit gimmicky, and we think the Nokia's cheaper price and easy-to-use beautifying software will be more appealing to the hordes of teenage girls and boys, who will likely have this Windows phone on their Christmas list this year. HTC Desire Eye vs Nokia Lumia 735, primary cameras. While there is some argument that the Nokia Lumia 735 wins out on the selfie camera, there's no such argument with the primary camera. Pitting a 6.7 MP f/1.9 camera with a single LED flash against a 13 MP f/2.0 snapper with dual LED flash was never going to end well, never mind the Nokia's fancy-sounding Ace optics. The HTC Desire Eye offers a clearer picture with less noise, it works better in low light, and it has an HDR mode that helps you capture better photography in tricky lighting. The Nokia's camera produces acceptable photography, but nothing like that which you'd normally expect to see from a pure view camera, and nothing that you'd want to print out and frame without some tweaking. HTC has been making loud voices about its Zoe software, which is collaborative video editing software available to all iPhones and Android devices, and not exclusive to the Desire Eye. HTC Desire Eye vs Nokia Lumia 735, software. Software is an obvious difference between these phones. Whereas the Desire Eye runs Android KitKat, and we fully expect HTC to roll out Lollipop as soon as it can, with the Sense interface, the Nokia runs Windows Phone 8.1. Which you prefer is very much a personal choice, but it should be noted that there is not nearly so wide a gap between the two as there once was. Windows Phone does still lag on a.
Thanks for watching my video. Subscribe my YouTube channel for more latest updates.